This super mega hyper awesome episode of Co-op is brought to you by Nokia, Gamefly, and Squarespace.
Dude, stop what you're doing right now. Check this out. Tony Hawk Ride.
Dude, I've been wanting to play this, man.
Right? I know, I have too. That's why I brought it over. It's like a real deck.
Let's set it up, man. I want to try it out right now.
All right.
Dude,
So stoked.
I'm totally gonna do some nollie 360 flips.
1-to-1 motion.
Kickflip over like a bridge.
I know. If you could do a
Do some
360
grinds.
you can do a 360 flip here. It's so awesome. I'm so
Dude, this is gonna be awesome.
Dude, it's gonna be so rad.
Hey, it's Tony Hawk here. I just want to introduce you to the Ride controller. Those sensors are going to be super calibrated in a bit. This is probably the easiest thing you'll do all day. Almost there. Got it. Great. Step 1, done. Come on. And done. Fantastic. Now for the other side. Here we go. Try to keep the board still during this process. So, how's the weather? What do you guys do around there for fun? We're almost done.
The thing I like about you most is you've run away with me. So pack your bags and your shotgun too. We might run into zombies. We're always down for that co-op multiplayer action. We're always down. We're so down. We're so down. We're so down for co-op. We're so down for that co-op action.
No, dude, can't you read internet do not unplug? You're never supposed to take that out. I was
Whoa, just chill, baby. Chill. I got you covered, baby. I got you covered. You can use my laptop, sweet cheeks.
How is this gonna help me? I have a perfectly good laptop with twice the screen
You
size.
gotta relax. It's got 3Gs, baby.
3G internet access?
Yeah, 3Gs. Online all the time, just like me.
Unibody construction?
Ooh,
Windows
thank
7? You know, this thing is actually pretty sweet.
you. Just be sure to plug it in after 12 hours.
12-hour battery life.
That's right, 12-hour battery life.
Pretty sweet. All right, you know, I might just give this a shot. And if you have any of that margarita mix left, kick some down, you know?
Yeah, right.
What's this? Step back.
Get your hands off me! They consider me a traitor thanks to you.
Even though it didn't make the best first impression on me, probably because
It didn't me either.
I had played so much Assassin's Creed 2 in the week. I mean, literally back to back I played them, but that went away pretty fast actually, and then I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Well, and I really wish that it had come out before Assassin's Creed 2
too.
instead of at the same time, because
Yeah.
I probably would have done it just to kind of satiate that part of me that was really jonesing for Assassin's Creed.
Definitely.
And then I would have beat it, and I would have had all the cool weapons unlocked for Assassin's Creed 2 when I finally got it.
I mean, there are so many good games to be getting right now during this holiday season that it's probably not on that many people's radar. But it is, I think, a worthwhile game to play, especially, I mean, depending on how much you like Assassin's Creed. But if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, you should definitely be picking this one up, despite all of its flaws.
If all you have is a PSP and that's your only game playing device, it really is the compact version of the full Assassin's Creed 1 experience in a handheld.
Yeah.
And it really felt like it cut out all of the fat that people were complaining about Assassin's Creed 1, because this one is much more linear. There's a lot fewer side missions, even though they're reminiscent of Assassin's Creed 1. So I constantly felt like I was being moved forward through the game instead of having to plod to the next mission.
Yeah, I mean, most everything is there. Obviously, the combat is a big thing in Assassin's Creed. And when I started the game, the very first room is like this kind of really thin hallway with a bunch of guards. And I found I was trying to do the combat the way that I always did it, which is basically wait around and
wait for someone to
attack in the counter.
Yeah.
And the counters, I don't know, I couldn't get them, like the timing was wrong. So I don't know, it just felt weird to me in that opening scene. And then shortly after that, once I got into the actual game and started doing some real missions, and it felt like the combat was really, really similar to Assassin's Creed 1 combat.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the combo systems.
Yep.
It has all the counters. If you're playing the PS3 version of Assassin's Creed 2, you actually can send across a codex that allows you to block with your hidden blade equipped, which is just a nice feature to have.
The combo attack system is really interesting, because at first I thought, why is my timing so wrong on this? How come I can't get these combos to work? And I really figured out that, wow, I have to press the button what felt to me like really late. It would be attack, I'd hear the sound, I'd see the little flash effect, and then I would attack after all of that. And then he would do the combo attacks.
Yeah, I don't remember, like I didn't think to myself, man, this seems really early or late, but I did definitely feel like I couldn't figure out what the timing was at first, and it just took me a while before I got accustomed to it, and it seemed like slightly more difficult than in the console versions of the game.
Yeah, but then once I got it, I was like, this is Assassin's Creed combat on a PSP.
Exactly.
The animations are almost as good.
Not quite, but yeah. I think, the place where the animation is really hurting over the console versions is in the climbing.
Yeah. The climbing on the buildings is much more gridded off. Like instead of affording you all kinds of crazy directions, it feels almost more like Prince of Persia, where like, oh, I'm going here, and you can see it happening. And again, that's just a product of the limitation of the system.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't find a way up to the top of a tower that I was trying to get to or whatever, but it generally works the way that it works in the other games. I mean, I feel like, especially in Assassin's Creed 2, I had a lot of minute control over which direction I was jumping, or like if there were, 3 possible things I could jump to in sort of the same area. Once I got used to it, I was pretty much hitting the one I wanted to every time. And in this game, I fell more and made more mistakes than I did in Assassin's Creed 1 or 2. But again, like part of it is just seems kind of expected. I mean, you're working with less buttons, you're working on a less precise analog stick, and the fact that it worked at all and you could get good at it was enough for me. The thing that's really different and turned me off at first from the game is the worlds.
Yeah.
They're kind of chopped up. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to do a super giant open world on a PSP. I mean, yes, the Grand Theft Autos have sort of done it.
They have, but there is a lot. The sections in this game, there's a lot of loads.
Yeah.
Between different like neighborhoods of these cities.
It bothered me at first, but at the end, once I played more of it, I actually started to really not mind it at all, because it's like you're saying, the game, there's a real strict structure to it all. Yeah. You walk into a new kind of zone, there's one viewpoint, you synchronize on that, it'll open up like 2 or 3 side missions, and then there's these kind of like Templar coins that are scattered throughout this relatively small area.
They're pretty much just like the flags in the first game.
Right, exactly. But the difference is that you can actually use them for something. They are like currency that you use to buy upgrades in the game, which makes them worth going to collect.
Damned pirate bastard! He'll kill me one of these days, I just know it, and I've done nothing! Oh, if only he would die a swift and painful death!
It's not the longest game ever. Yeah. There's only like 2 major city types.
Right.
There's only like 2 or 3 major art directions for all the different worlds in the game, except for the indoor kind of castle areas and boss battles at the end of each section. Right. But I guess the point is that it felt really, I always felt like I knew exactly what I should be doing, and there was enough variety in each of the missions that I didn't feel like I was doing the same thing over and over again, like in the original Assassin's Creed. The one thing that you can't help but think of when you're playing this game, especially if you've just played Assassin's Creed 2 and even Assassin's Creed 1, is that it feels like a game that was made on a very small budget, There's like one or two music loops that repeat throughout like the entire game.
Ad nauseum.
It drove me nuts.
Me too.
You're not allowed here.
Are you threatening me?
What's gotten into you?
The same bit of music over and over again.
The voice actors sound like the developers got their brother and sister to come in and read for it, you know?
Right, and the writing itself seems like kind of much less interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, and the story too. One of the nice things is
it's kind of neat where the story fits in between the two games, but like the telling of it is mediocre.
Exactly. There are links between Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and this game. Makes it worth playing for any fans of Assassin's Creed. I mean, it's totally serviceable, and there's, as far as I know, nothing like it that I've played on PSP, so it's still a pretty like unique experience to that platform. Assassin's Creed 1, flaws and all, is a more important and a game that I enjoy more personally, and Assassin's Creed 2 is a game that's one of my favorites of all time, and obviously this isn't that. But it is a fun game, and I think it's a game that many gamers would actually find more enjoyable than the more important Assassin's Creed 1 to me, because it's just more straightforward. You can like blast through the missions relatively quickly, and there's never a point when you're just kind of lost in this giant open world thinking, what should I do? Man, do I really have to do that same thing over and over again?
Right, or thinking like, man, I have this entire area presented before me and it's so barren.
Yeah.
And yeah, this game doesn't feel like that because of its limited scope.
Yep. And so I think that's a win, and it's definitely worth playing if you like Assassin's Creed.
What's wrong, Billy? No money for new games? Well, try GameFly. GameFly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 6,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, GameFly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back and GameFly will send you the next available game on your list. If you really like the game you're playing, simply click Keep It on the GameFly website and the game is yours, at a discounted price. GameFly will even mail you the case and manuals free of charge. Co-op fans will get a 2-week free trial when they go to gamefly.com/co-op. Some restrictions apply, see site for details.
Use the coping. Use the coping.
This is the ride. You got it.
Yeah, this is the
Is it fun?
This
Yeah,
is
you wanna try it out?
ride. Yeah, you want to check it out?
Hop on, man. Okay. Give it a shot.
Yeah, go for it.
How do you like that? Kickflip before I'm even on the board.
Pretty good.
Wow.
Check it out, guys. Double, like triple grind. I don't even know what that means, but it's gonna be sweet.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you alright? Oh, dude. We should have got him some elbow pads, maybe
or
a
a
helmet.
helmet or a cup at least.
Yeah, you're right here.
So the Joker is a wanted man. Makes your way across the land. See him sifting through the sand. So I'll tell you all the story about the Joker and the thief in the night.
I was pretty excited when I first heard that Tony Hawk was gonna, they were gonna spend another year on the game to create this new technology for this peripheral. Because the idea of riding this board in my living room, it sounds like fun to me,
It seemed like the right step to me, as much as I don't like spending money on new peripherals. It seemed like the right way to go, because Skate, the EA franchise, already had like basically come up with a control scheme that's so much better than the Tony Hawk control scheme, and so the only thing they could have done is like kind of totally revamp that, either bit the Skate one or come up with some weird new one that we haven't seen yet, or do what they did, which is make a crazy peripheral and actually make it seem more immersive than what you're already doing in Skate, which feels a lot more immersive than the old Tony Hawk.
He's a what? He's a newspaper man, and he gets Specialist from a newspaper stand, from his boots to his bed, to his commentators rant. He knows that any little article will do. Though he expresses some confusion about his part in the play, and he can't understand that he's not in command. The decisions are written by the cash in his hand, by a sweater for his Wamarana too. Now I'm no man, never that's insanity. This before feminine, when we both family goes and shows up with more foes and more cups and the ride from the last time me in the rough. The rough is hard drive to the leanest month.
To me, like skateboarding, there's a sense of freedom of like where you want to skate and where you want to go. And in this game, especially on casual, I feel like you're much more restricted in these certain paths that they want you to go.
Well, and that's where the difficulties come in. There's like casual, comfortable, and hardcore. You know, there's like these three modes that each one allowing more control than the last over the board. You know, and you know it's like the first one, like you said, is on rails. The second one is not on rails, but it still has like more of a snap-on feel to it when you do tricks, when you're hitting a rail. You don't fall as easily. And hardcore is definitely like the most Tony Hawk in spirit, is that it, you know, lets you go where you want.
It essentially feels like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's more, it provides more of the freedom that kind of just felt like it was missing. The problem with that is that you do have to go through a certain percentage of the casual gameplay in order to unlock any of the other ones. So you are forced to start out in this mode, which kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth initially.
The game, in its natural progression, just kind of starts throwing tutorials and then challenges at you, and the challenges want you very quickly, very early on, to input very specific moves at very specific points, and that's where the controller kind of falls apart a little bit, because there's, at least in my experience, my short experience with the game, there was one specific set of moves that I just couldn't do. They're the
flick trick.
The flick trick versus the tilt tricks. Yeah, and it's what everyone gets hung up on. Whenever I talk to anybody else who's played the game, it's always like, did you have passed that area with the flip trick versus the tilt trick? And if they have, it's always, oh yeah, I got lucky, you know, because that's what it feels like most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know, like I watched the tutorial video that shows you how to do the flick trick, and you know, as much as I tried, which was over and over and over again, I tried to do the same exact thing that they were showing me to do in the video, and I just couldn't get it to work.
Yeah.
And that just seems like I don't know, either a flaw in the controller or a flaw in the motion, the software, I don't know.
Well, I don't even think it's just the flick trick. It's a lot of the other moves. It's like, how does the controller know the difference between an ollie and a manual? Because there's times where I'd go off a ramp and I'd tell it to do an ollie, and I would just manual right off of it.
It seems like manualing is like you just have to hold it really low, like just barely, and then if you go up more, then it's automatically
you would
an
think
ollie.
that's the
generally,
case.
I think that's
and the
what it's
difference
supposed to be.
between like the flick trick and doing a 180 trick, you know, you're doing the same kind of motion,
Right.
but it's at times it'll end up flipping the board into like, you know, a 360 flip, or you'll end up doing like a 180 or a 360. So it's, I don't know.
I think the main problem with it is that you can't turn, when you're stopped, you can't turn your border around. So the direction it has you
And once
facing
you're
is the
moving,
way
you
you're
can't
going to go.
stop either.
Right,
Like,
there's no way to stop.
there's no way to stop the game.
Yeah,
You're
except
always-
for falling.
yeah.
And then you basically are standing still, facing a single direction until you kick again, and then you start moving that direction. The only way to turn yourself is to tilt the board to the side, you know, like this,
Which you ride all the way
which
around.
makes you do like a circle in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you just want to do a simple like kick turn and just turn your body, you
And
know, 180 degrees or whatever, and you can't do
And that's
that.
one of the things, like, I'm no skateboarder. That's, you guys really skateboard in real life. So, I mean, obviously your perspective is totally different, but in the very few times I've tried to skateboard, you know, when I turn, I'm not like doing this as much as I'm doing like this sort of thing.
Right.
I think it's just a natural move that people like learn. That's like one of the first things you learn, you know? Push on your tail and turn your body. I mean,
And that is just not, the metaphor is not in the game at all, because that's how they are doing ollies and that's how they're doing manuals.
Right, and
so,
I understand. I mean, that you have to put limitations on things in order to allow everything to be in there. But
Right.
the problem is, like, that's where it comes back to the question of, you know, is it the controller, is it the software, like, what is it that's really holding this game back? And I feel after spending a lot of time playing it that it really is kind of the design of the game, because it's missing a lot of conventions that have made skateboard games fun and possible in the last few years. You know, it's like, you know, the ability to not only get off your board, but just to stop, turn around, the ability to set session markers, the ability to even stop in the middle of a run and just say restart, you know, instead of having to rush down the entire thing all over again. There's all these things that are like that seem so basic that aren't in here.
Well, like one thing you do when you're skateboarding, it's like, and you have this idea of this trick that you want to do, and it takes lots and lots of practice just to like learn this one trick off or on, you know, like one ledge, you know, and just doing that over and over. And
I feel like Skate does a pretty good job of nailing that feeling. You know, you can set the session marker. You go like, you realize like, oh, I'm gonna do a jump off this ramp, and I'm gonna try to do whatever, like a crazy 540 with, you know, a kickflip or something, and like, it may take you 10, 15, 20 tries to get it, but eventually you can do it, and then you can like save the video of it, and you know. And that's the thing, is this game is offering something totally different than what you get in Skate. It's offering you the ability to finally do this with your feet, and I feel like at its best when I'm free skating and just like wandering around a cool space, and I feel like it's almost there. Like I almost feel like I can master all the controls. There are a few things like the flip tricks that I just can't make work consistently, and it drives me nuts. But it does. I can't help but think back to when I was a young kid and trying to learn how to do Zangief's spinning pile driver in Street Fighter, and I couldn't do it, and it took me forever. And I feel like maybe that's the situation here, is that our feet just haven't learned, you know, they don't have that muscle memory yet.
You're right. When it works, it's an experience that nothing else has been able to deliver still, and that's cool. And that's something that makes me really want this to be good, you know, which is what was ultimately frustrating to me, you know. I mean, this board is like, this is a really impressive piece of hardware still. Like, I'm really impressed by this, you know, and I'm hopeful for another developer, if not this one, to like take it to the next level.
What if life was like Squarespace?
Squarespace is a publishing system for anyone looking to build a blog, portfolio, or any kind of website. Squarespace offers a uniquely flexible tool for just about anyone, no coding experience required, to build high-end, complex websites with the same functionality and uniqueness that you find on some of the highest trafficked pages on the web. Good taste not included. Sign up today and use promo code COOP.
Oh, come on, try to head down to the left side of the park.
Hold on.
It's way better over there.
Watch this.
Come on, what are you... Oh, dude, it's my turn now. You're gonna break that thing. It's not cool, man.
Dude, it's fine.
Then nobody uses it.
Hold on, just check this out. You know, one more try.
This is not... No.
I know.
Come on,
dude, I know. Don't worry.
You goddamn kids are making too much noise!
Dude, look what you did. You woke up old man Shannon.
Come on, get out of here! Yeah. You're respectfully honored.